Yes.
I'm sure you taught that to everyone.
Doing good. Our favorite showrunners.
Oh, hello.
How are you?
How are you?
Great, and you?
Twice in 1 week.
I'm Jeff Loeb, and he's
Jeff Bell.
and together we're
Jeff. Well, you guys take your show's king, Coulson, and you turn him back into a pawn, which had to create all kinds of fun opportunities with all the other characters. Can you talk about how significant that is for everybody?
No, yeah, sure. You get Coulson on this journey, as the director. It's harder to be the director. Suddenly you're sending people into battle, lives are being lost, you lose a hand, suddenly you're losing some of your own humanity. How dark do you go? And coming back out of that, it felt like he had done that. And honestly, we love Coulson from Iron Man. We love the guy who goes out and can talk his way out of anything. We like him, boots on the ground going into situations. And as director, sometimes there was conflict with doing that. And so to find him been there, done that sort of world weary at that, and then suddenly not, and we haven't really looked into why, which is something season 4 we'll look at, but we know at the end of this last season he's not. He and Mac as partners, that's fun, and it's just a way to. We always try and take our characters, put them in new combinations, so that you haven't seen those two together to create new dynamics, and that's just part of the way to do that.
and we know there's a new director, and obviously this new director has an agenda, and we're going to find out what that agenda is.
The show began as the guys, the unsung heroes of S.H.I.E.L.D, the lay low guys, but now has gone full sci-fi. So how does that mingle in the MCU? Because they can't lay low anymore. They are inhumans. They are
Right, the world, because the world around them has changed, S.H.I.E.L.D. has had to change.
Mm-hmm.
And after the Sokovia Accords and sort of what happened in the last Captain America movie, that will also trickle into how our world is. So our character, with the rise of the Inhumans, our characters had to engage with that, although we were very secret. And so that will continue to evolve as we go forward this season.
And it's hard to remember because for a lot of people, their contact point with Marvel is through the comic books. And so in the comic books, there's hundreds and hundreds, actually there's 8,500 characters that are running around that have powers and abilities. But in the MCU, there were, when the show began, a handful of them. I mean, the truth of the matter was, Tony Stark was a man who wore a suit. And so what you had was Thor, who's technically an alien. You had the Hulk, who had incredible strength that grew out of science, and Cap. And that was basically kind of it, because Hawkeye, Black Widow, they were regular people who happened to have incredible skills. And so the world that S.H.I.E.L.D. lived in, when it encountered something that was unique and unusual, it could move in the shadows. But as more and more things popped up, not just in the movies, but in the television series, it became obvious that this entity had to change as well as the times around it.
You got a little more ownership and access to the Inhuman world of Marvel. Tell me what that's meant for your plans for the show.
Well, it sure made it a lot easier to explain why people had abilities. They're inhuman.
No, that helps a lot. And before it was always accident of science or alien, and that was really it. And so it allows us to bring in different powers, different themes with that, and that won't stop. I mean, we like that in our world, so you'll see more of that this season.
Will you get to the classic Inhuman characters now that you have the sort of clearer
You
path?
want the dog, right?
Lockjaw, yeah.
To be discovered.
How about the time slot difference? Does that make any difference in the creative, what you're allowed to do and stuff? The fact that it's
It certainly changes in terms of where we could go. Every hour has a different sort of set of
mixture at 11, we're going to be pretty much just news. Just news.
And then, at about 11:30, we'll just turn it into a talk show.
That's right.
But the reality is that, Marvel's never going to be more than, somewhere between PG-13 and PG-16. We certainly, with the Netflix shows, push the envelope in a way that hasn't been pushed. But we're not making Deadpool anytime soon. And so, at the end of the day, what's important to us is that we tell really good stories with really strong characters that have a lot of conflict and a lot of emotion and a lot of humor. And if we can accomplish that and explore other themes, Marvel has always existed in a better place, which is when you start to look at how the real world impacts the world of Marvel. And so one of the things that's on our minds in a way now more than ever is the differences between us all and how that's been highlighted and really pushed in our face. And whether or not we figure out that this is all one planet and the fact that some of us are different from others, and whether that is human and inhuman, and whether that is human and whatever Robbie Reyes is as the Ghost Rider, those are things that we're going to need to learn to work with because we are sharing one planet. I'm told to get up. Oh, okay.
I actually have a question. So, with the finishing of the Hive storyline, you kind of opened up possibly for new villains. Can you give us a little tease about what we could be seeing coming up? I mean, you have the life model decoy plot kind of lingering in the air. Do you have any direction that you feel like you want to go?
I don't think I want to announce any villains. There will be antagonists, and we tend to have more than one over the course of the season. Try to do that. But at this time, I say stay tuned.
Thank you all so much.